When will we have a real conversation in this committee about what's going on in the White House? Will we, the members of the House Judiciary Committee, take a serious look at the evidence before the American public that the president may have obstructed justice? It's simple. As chair, this is your job, Mr. Chairman. As members of this committee, this is our job. We don't operate in a vacuum. The White House is only a few blocks away. And while we sit here, the president and his team are working to block the American people's access to real answers. They're closing the doors to the press. They're making them turn off their cameras. They're refusing to give answers to even basic policy questions. Why? Because they don't want to be held accountable to their own statements. The president's newest lawyer refused to be held accountable to his own statements when he first said that, and I quote, President Trump is under investigation, and then refused to admit that he had just said it. And the reporters who are doing the hard work of trying to get even the most basic answers from this White House are left to tweet out pictures of their socks in briefings to the White House press secretary when they're prohibited from using their cameras to give the American people a look into this administration. In this country, Mr. Chairman, the job of holding the government accountable is not limited to the free press. Let's go back to first principles here. Let's go back to the Constitution. Let's go back to Article 1, which establishes the Congress, the people's branch of government. The check on the executive powers of the president. We make the rules on behalf of those people back home who use their vote to send us here. We make sure that the president and his administration are following the rules that this Congress has set. And this committee has under its jurisdiction the responsibility to assure that our system of laws is functioning. We have the responsibility of ensuring that no one man or woman is above the law. We have the responsibility of verifying the facts that have contributed to the nationwide discussion about the possible obstruction of justice by the President of the United States. The public testimony sworn under oath, under penalty of perjury, from a public servant who has honorably served this country hints pretty strongly that the President intimidated him, asked for his loyalty above his honesty, and asked him to let Mike Flynn go because he's a good guy and to lift the cloud from his administration, and that the President went on national television and said that he fired that same public servant for an investigation into the President's campaign ties to Russia. The public has been debating the evidence of obstruction of justice. Now it is up to us whether or not we are going to engage in that same debate and do anything with that evidence. Whether the House Judiciary Committee will examine the evidence on behalf of the American people. Every year, we sit up here and exercise oversight over the criminal justice system, including the Department of Justice. And now, here is something that screams out for us to focus that oversight responsibility on. So I would ask, Mr. Chairman, we had asked, as my friend from Texas pointed out, 16 members of this committee have asked, that we start to ask some tough questions. I'd ask that we not let the administration close us out like they are trying to close out the press. Let's give the American people what they deserve above all else from this committee, the House Judiciary Committee. Let's use this committee the way it has always been used throughout its history, to provide oversight, to investigate, and to seek the truth. I thank the chairman for the time, and I yield back.